Hey friend, today I want to talk about something that's at the heart of so many client transformations, and that's lactation support. Specifically, how offering even the most basic feeding guidance can totally elevate your doula practice. So whether you're supporting clients during pregnancy, birth, or postpartum, lactation really touches it all. And despite that, so many birth workers really feel hesitant to even step in and offer support. Maybe you've even wondered to yourself, like, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I'm not certified enough to help? Honestly, I've been there. That's the way I felt when I started out as a new doula, and I used to shy away from those type of questions that came up around feeding. But over time, and eventually as an IBCLC, I learned how much of a game changer it is when doulas really step into this role. So in this video, I want to explore how lactation support can really help you serve more deeply, but also help you build a standout practice that helps you touch the lives of more families. So also, I want to mention before we get into it, if you're ready to build your confidence in lactation, I have a free training that goes deeper. It's called Confident Lactation Support for Birth Workers. Stand out, get referrals, and grow. And you can sign up in the link below. I'll put it in the description. All right, let's talk about why lactation support matters so much. So many doulas feel like they're not qualified enough to help with feeding unless they're an IBCLC. They're scared to give the wrong advice, and they maybe even assume that someone else on the care team is already covering breastfeeding and lactation. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. This is what I want you to know about all of this. When you feel confident offering lactation support, your practice changes. Families' trust in you grows more, your referrals grow, and you start to stand out as someone who offers full spectrum holistic care. So let's dig into the key ways that lactation support can transform your doula practice. The first is that it really can help deepen your client relationships. Lactation is one of the most vulnerable parts of postpartum. You know this. So if you can be a steady, knowledgeable presence in that space, your clients are going to remember you forever. So imagine this. Imagine you show up on day 3 postpartum, and the baby's fussy and your client's in tears, and you can just look at them and say, let's look at the latch together. You can offer calm guidance, and that guidance helps build trust and it helps build connection with the client. A mistake to avoid is not touching on lactation topics at all because you're afraid of overstepping. And what happens if you don't step in at all is that your client may start to feel alone or misunderstood in one of the most vulnerable moments of their new parenthood journey. Number 2 is that offering lactation support is going to help increase the value of your services. So when clients know that they can trust you, that you're going to support them through all the postpartum craziness and feeding, they see you as an incredible resource and an incredible professional. And that makes it easier to raise your rates, fill your packages, and get more and more referrals. So let's look at an example of this. You offer a prenatal lactation education session or a postpartum feeding or pumping check-in, something other doulas near you might not provide. A mistake to avoid here is thinking that lactation support has to be complicated or only for the real experts. What happens if you don't offer lactation-specific support? You're missing an opportunity to deliver more value to your clients and just really stand out from other doulas in your area. Let's look at number 3. It helps families get better outcomes. You don't need to fix every issue, but helping families understand what's normal, when to ask for help, and how to advocate for themselves can make such a massive difference. So as an example, let's say you explain colostrum or what cluster feeding is and why it doesn't mean that their milk supply is low. That one conversation alone might save someone from switching to formula early on just out of panic. So a mistake to avoid here is just assuming that a nurse or a pediatrician is going to jump in and be covering this thoroughly, because if you don't speak up, that's probably not going to happen, and they're going to get filled with a lot of misinformation, or they're just going to have a lack of support that can really spiral into some overwhelm, some guilt, and maybe even early weaning. Number 4 is that it's going to grow your reputation. And when you become known as the doula who really knows their stuff about feeding and lactation and pumping, word is going to spread. Care providers and clients too are going to start to refer their friends to you, their clients to you. So as an example, imagine that a midwife hears your name mentioned over and over again in your community by other clients who have felt seen and supported with breastfeeding. Guess who she's going to start recommending? So a mistake to avoid here is hiding your lactation knowledge because you don't feel like an expert. What happens if you hide? You might stay under the radar, and even though you have those powerful skills, no one's gonna know about it. So what can you start doing right now? First, choose one way to start incorporating lactation into your current services. Maybe adding in a feeding conversation into your prenatal visits or walking them through pumping. Another thing is that you can keep a referral list of IBCLCs and get really clear on what's in your scope, where your scope ends, and where collaboration begins. Number 3 is to practice saying things like, it's totally normal to have questions about this, let's look at it together. And number 4 is to sign up for my free training to deepen your confidence and your skills. I'm gonna walk you through how to support clients and how to grow your business doing it. So in summary, lactation support shouldn't be considered an extra, it's essential. When you learn how to show up with clarity and with care, you transform your practice and your client's whole experience. If this episode resonated with you, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share with another doula friend. And don't forget to sign up for my free training. The link is down below. Let me know in the comments once you sign up so I can cheer you on. Thank you for being here, and I will see you all soon.